Kenny Law from Moonshiners has passed away, surrounded by loved ones. The world of moonshining, a secretive and fascinating part of American history, lost one of its most beloved figures recently with the passing of Kenny Law. Fans of the hit television show Moonshiners knew Kenny as a man who brought not only skill and knowledge of the craft, but a unique charm and heart to the screen. His death, confirmed by his family and the Moonshiners production team, has left many saddened. It is a loss not only for the show's devoted fans, but also for those who knew him best, his family, friends, and fellow Moonshiners. Kenny Law, a central figure on the Moonshiners show, passed away surrounded by loved ones after a battle with illness. The news was shared through heartfelt tributes and statements from those closest to him, with many remembering his deep connection to his craft, his community, and his warmth that resonated both on and off screen. As a figure in the moonshining world, Kenny represented not just the skills of making liquor in a way that blended traditional methods with modern innovation, but also the indomitable spirit of those who pursue this craft, often with secrecy, passion, and a sense of rebellion. A legacy built on Moonshine. Kenny Law's life, both before and after his time on Moonshiners, was defined by his deep connection to the Appalachian Mountains and the culture of the region. Moonshining, as many know, is more than just a way to make a living. It's part of the fabric of Appalachian history, a tradition passed down through generations. For Kenny, it was never just about the act of making moonshine. It was about preserving a way of life and honoring his ancestors who had done the same. Born and raised in the rural hills of Appalachia, Kenny was a product of the region's rich history. He learned the ways of the still from his family, who had been involved in the practice for generations. While moonshining was often viewed as illegal, particularly in its earlier days, Kenny never saw it as just a criminal activity. For him, it was a part of his heritage, his identity, and a way to make a living in a region where other opportunities were limited. As a young man, Kenny quickly developed a reputation for his skill with the stills. He wasn't just another moonshiner. He was a craftsman, an artist of sorts. Kenny's method of producing high-quality moonshine gained him respect both in the mountains and beyond. People would travel miles to get a taste of his work. Over the years, his reputation grew, not just as a maker of fine spirits, but also as someone who valued the principles of honesty and integrity, two qualities not always associated with moonshining, but ones Kenny took pride in. Moonshiners, the show that made him a star. Kenny's journey into the public eye began when he joined the cast of Moonshiners, a Discovery Channel reality series that followed the lives of those who continued to make illegal moonshine in the Appalachian Mountains. The show first aired in 2011 and quickly became a hit. It captivated audiences with its mix of adventure, suspense, and fascinating insights into a world that most people had little knowledge of. Kenny's presence on the show was magnetic. He brought an authenticity that resonated with viewers. Unlike some of the more theatrical personalities often found on reality television, Kenny came across as genuine, grounded, and approachable. His passion for moonshining was clear, but he was also a man of humor and heart, always ready with a laugh or a wise word. It was this blend of character traits that made him so beloved by fans of the show. Throughout his time on Moonshiners, Kenny became one of the most recognizable figures on the series. His quiet wisdom, combined with his expert skills behind the still, made him a fan favorite. He wasn't in it for the fame or the notoriety. Rather, he was there to share the art and tradition of moonshining with the world. As viewers watched, they saw Kenny not just as a character on television, but as a person, a man with a rich backstory and a clear passion for what he did. His legacy on the show is not just about the moonshine, but the way he helped bring the culture of Appalachian moonshining to a new audience, preserving a tradition that has been practiced for centuries. A family man, while Kenny was known for his work with moonshine, those closest to him always spoke of his deep love for his family. He was a father, a brother, and a son who cherished the time he spent with loved ones. His family was his anchor, and they played an integral role in his life, both on the show and away from the camera. Kenny's love for his family was most evident in the way he spoke about them. On the show, he often mentioned the influence of his father and grandfather, who had taught him the ways of moonshining. In many ways, he saw himself as a steward of their legacy, working to pass down their knowledge to the next generation. He was incredibly proud of. To him to keep the tradition alive for his children, ensuring that they too understood and appreciated the legacy of the craft. The bond he shared with his family was not just a background element of his life, it was central to who he was. In interviews, his family often described him as a caring and devoted man who prioritized his loved ones above all else. He was the kind of person who would go out of his way to help others, whether they were family, friends, or even strangers. The passing of a legend. Kenny Law's passing has been met with an outpouring of grief and tribute from fans, friends, and family alike. As news of his death spread, social media was flooded with messages from people who had been touched by his kindness, his work, and his legacy. Many fans took to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to share their memories, recounting the moments when Kenny had made them laugh or taught them something new about moonshining. "It's hard to believe Kenny is gone," one fan wrote on social media. "He was more than just a moonshiner on TV. He was a real person, a kind soul. I'll miss him." Another fan shared, "Kenny taught me about the history of moonshining and the culture behind it. It wasn't just about making liquor, it was about preserving a way of life. We lost a legend today." In response to the news, the Moonshiners production team released a statement expressing their sorrow. Kenny Law was not just a cast member, he was a family member. His passion, integrity, and kindness will be missed by everyone on the show and by the fans who loved him. Our hearts are with his family during this difficult time. Kenny's family, too, shared their grief in a statement. Kenny was a loving husband, father, and friend. He was an incredible man who touched the lives of everyone he met. He leaves behind a legacy of love, laughter, and a respect for tradition. We are grateful for the time we had with him, and he will forever be in our hearts. Reflecting on his impact as fans and loved ones mourn the loss of Kenny Law, it's clear that his legacy will live on. His contributions to the moonshining community and to the Moonshiners series are invaluable. He wasn't just a character on a TV show. He was a real person who brought authenticity, heart, and wisdom to everything he did. For those who followed his career, it's easy to see how Kenny's impact will be felt for years to come. He was a bridge between the old world of Appalachian moonshining and the modern era, showing that traditions, when passed down with love and respect, can endure. Kenny's story is a reminder that even in a world that's rapidly changing, there are still people who hold fast to the old ways, keeping them alive for future generations. While his presence on Moonshiners may have ended, his influence on the show and the craft of moonshining will never be forgotten. Kenny Law was not just a moonshiner, he was a man who lived his life with purpose, passion, and integrity. His passing may have left a hole in the hearts of many, but his memory, his legacy, and the traditions he upheld will continue to inspire those who knew him and those who continue to appreciate the rich history of moonshining. Kenny, surrounded by his family in his final days, will always be remembered as a man who not only shared his knowledge of the craft, but also his love for the people around him. And in that, he truly lived the life of a legend. Kenny Law, the beloved star from the popular reality TV show Moonshiners, has passed away at the age of 64. Known for his rugged demeanor, infectious laugh, and no-nonsense attitude, Kenny's unexpected passing has left fans of the show, and his friends and family heartbroken. His death marks the end of an era for fans of the long-running show that offered an inside look into the secretive world of illegal moonshine distilling in the Appalachian region. Law's death was confirmed by his family, who shared a statement that, in true Kenny fashion, emphasized his love for his family, his community, and the moonshine tradition. He died surrounded by loved ones in his home in the hills of Virginia, where he had spent most of his life crafting the craft that made him a television icon. The news of his passing reverberated quickly across social media, with fans sharing tributes and memories of the man who brought authenticity and charm to the reality series. For many, Kenny Law was more than just a television personality. He was a reminder of the resilience and spirit of those who work hard, live by their own rules, and value tradition. His death marks a significant loss not only for his family, but also for the fans of Moonshiners, who had followed his journey for over a decade. Kenny Law's legacy. Kenny Law's life was as colorful as the moonshine he made. Born and raised in the Appalachian Mountains, Kenny's roots ran deep in the tradition of moonshining, which was passed down through generations of his family. Growing up, he learned the art of distillation from his father.